Yeah, started.
Today we will be discussing about role and privileges. So
Okay.
before discuss about roles and privileges, so roles are a container in IDM,
Okay.
okay, and privilege is the PFCG role in the backend system. For ABAP, this is the PFCG. For Java, those whatever the roles are there. So those are the privileges. Those will be called as whatever coming from the backend system roles. When those are comes into IDM system, those are called privileges. And the role is a container, blank container. Okay.
Okay.
The roles will be stored into ms underscore role. Right. Those are the entity type is ms underscore role, and privilege entity type is ms underscore privilege. Now, before going to discuss about role and privilege, let's see how many roles or privileges are there in the system. So there is only one role is present. That is by default SAP is provided that this role, and corresponding privileges if you search, those are the standard privileges are available.
Okay.
Okay, these are the standard privileges are available. And if you go to search the privileges, those standard privileges are only available into the system. By default standard privileges, one privileges I have created for the, this is the IDM privilege. Okay, this is not the backend system privilege, this is IDM privilege. For the this what is the purpose of these privileges, which is already available into the system? What is this purpose of these privileges? In order to get access of all those tabs, in order to get access in the different form, where in the access control we can provide privileges. Based on those privileges, they will get access.
Okay.
Okay. So in IDM, we have what for the privileges. Privileges, we have three types of privilege. One privilege already I told, that is PFCG roles from backend system.
Okay.
Okay, these are called it's a normal privileges, or you can say this is the backend system privileges. Okay, backend system privileges. These are called backend system privileges. There is another privileges which I told. What is that privileges name? IDM privileges, because these privileges specifically present in IDM system.
Okay.
To control IDM privileges, to control access in IDM forms or in IDM UI. Okay.
Okay.
Access in IDM form and IDM UI. Okay.
Yeah.
There is another privileges are present, which is called system privileges. It's basically linked with this backend system privileges. Okay, these are called system privileges. What are those system privileges? One privilege out of, there are two system privileges are present. Out of those two, one can be seen in IDM and another one only be seen in the database. Okay, what are those system privileges? The privileges name is priv colon repository name colon only. And another privileges is priv colon system colon repository name.
Okay.
Okay, the first one can be seen in IDM, and this one can be seen in the database.
Okay.
Now, what are these two privileges? These privileges are identifying whether the users are present in that corresponding system or not.
Okay.
Okay, these privileges are identifying the user is present in that system or not.
Okay.
And these privileges are responsible to create the users in the corresponding backend system.
Okay.
Why this is linked, why these privileges is linked with the backend system privileges? These are interlinked. Interlinked means we are linking that privileges to the every backend system privileges to this system privilege.
Okay.
Why? Because whenever I will assign any particular role to a role means these PFCG privileges to an user,
Okay.
how do I really check whether the user ID is available in that corresponding system or not? No. If one user, then one user we can check. Suppose I am doing a mass load job. Do I really check? No, we don't check it. Then that is the reason every privileges, every PFCG roles are linked with these system privileges. These system privileges, so that every PFCG roles will be linked with these system privileges, so that whenever these PFCG roles are assigned to an user, these system privileges will be assigned to the user. Once this role is assigned to the user, user will be created on the backend system first, then the role will be assigned.
Okay.
If already backend system's user ID is already present, then these system privileges will just check whether already, that means these system privileges will already present with the user. That means what will happen, this PFCG role will be only assigned. It will not create the user in that corresponding system. It is already created.
Okay.
Okay, that is the purpose of this system privileges. This part here, or if you need that what is the purpose of this system privilege, that is clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now going back to the system in order to do the privileges. Now I can see this is only these privileges are present in IDM, and since this is only present in IDM, those privileges are called IDM privileges.
Okay.
Okay. Now how we will bring these backend system privileges?
Okay.
In order to bring those backend system privileges into IDM system, we have to run a initial load job.
Okay. First you have to connect the system, right?
Yes, we have to run the initial load job from that corresponding system.
Okay.
What is the initial load job? Here is we are having this initial load job. Job, initial load.
You will run specific application server or
We will be doing it. We will be checking and then doing it.
okay.
Now, this property, I think the job is, if the server now, there are two things. One is load balancing connector, one is specific application server. Right?
Yeah.
Either of these two can be used. But which will be used, that will be depend on the, so what I told that in order to bring the privileges, we have to run the initial load job. Now, in order to run the initial load job, since these are the repository job, we already now know about the repository job. This is repository job, so it will be running on specific repository, right? That means specific system. So in order to run that specific system, we have to create the repository admin UI tag. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, during creations of a above type of repository, we have two types. One is load balancing connector, one is specific application server.
Okay.
Okay, repository type, if you check, there are two types. One is load balance connector, one is specific application server.
Okay.
Now, what is this load balance and what is this specific application server?
Okay.
If the load balance, this is the specific application server means if you are having only above and there is no load balancer are present.
Okay.
For message server, do you means you do not have for the basis team they have not created any load balancer, then you can create a specific application server. And the load balancer connectors are there where you have the load balancer.
Okay.
Okay. Now here, since we can see we already created one server or the specific application server. I hope there is no load balancing connectors are present. So in order to do this activity, how to create? Just click on new repository. You have to give this specific repository type. This repository type will be available when you will bring those packages and the repository types are present within the packages. Here for the above you will get these two repository. From the Java you will get definitely two repository. So that is why JavaDB, Java LDAP. That is why these four repository types are present. You choose the particular repository type and give the name of the system. Usually the system name, the repository name will be the name of the system along with its client.
Okay.
Okay. So since we already created that RVC 100.
Yeah.
Now what are the information that I have to put? I have to put AS host, AS client, gateway host, gateway server, language is by default it is present, password, and our communication user ID. These are the most important thing that I have to put. Now here you do you know the host client?
You just open the GUI. This is RVC.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, this is RVC. 1 minute.
Yeah. So client is 100. Gateway host will be the same as application server host. Gateway server normally by default is 00. This is communication user ID. So communication user ID, we have to create a communications user ID. Create User
GRC
ID.
application server is 192.
GRC.
Sorry, ECC. 1 minute. 1 minute. Huh?
Yeah.
हेलो, कितना टाइम? हाँ ठीक है चलेगा. ओके. हाँ, application server 192 dot
192 dot
168
168
dot 1.35.
1.35. I hope gateway server will be the same. There will be usually get a name always. Okay, now these are the things. Now you have to give the
User, you want to be username to be created?
yes, I am creating that username.
Yeah, you
Usually for
you creating that?
yeah, I am creating
Okay, no issue.
IDM RFC con. Okay. IDM RFC con or IDM con, whatever, IDM RFC con, and usually it is always recommend throughout the system you should provide this name only, because in every ABAP system or every Java systems you have to create one system user. Okay, but if you suppose give the systems user name, this name in ECC, suppose you have another ABAP BW system, and you give some different name, what will happen for the same, and you assign one role to an user, when that user ID will be updated in ECC, it will be said last updated by IDM RFC con, and in BW you will see some different name, that last updated by something else.
Okay.
So you might get confused. So in order to avoid those confusion, we always create this name. If you create this name in ECC, you should create the same name and try to maintain same password, because this is the system ID. You maintain the same password throughout all the system, irrespective of ABAP, Java, all the systems. You try to create same user ID and password. Correct?
Okay. If you want gateway host name, you can put it the name ECC-EHP6.IDES.com. ECC EHP 6
dot
IDES.com.
IDS.com. Usually the host name is same.
Yeah, the same. That is also same. Correct.
Okay, so we can put these things as well in the host name as well.
Okay.
Just remember, if it is not working, we can change it later. I am putting usually the host name and gateway server are the same. Okay, so now I am creating this user. Logon type user will be system user. The password I am putting IDM IDM connect *1 IDM UNECT *1. Okay, roles, usually this ID should have the broad access. That's it.
No, you put underscore too much.
Okay, this ID is created.
Okay.
I will put the same ID over here. Okay, and password I am putting IDM connect *1. Okay, and the client system number probably
100.
No,
What is the
system number. This is the client 100.
Okay.
System number probably this is.
Right click on it.
Yeah.
0.
Yeah, 0.
System ID is RVC.
That is not a system. Yeah, system ID as well required. System name. No, this is the essential.
Above password below.
System ID. RVC.
C.
So system name, that is the repository name, and this is the client, that is the repository number. Here you will see priv colon system colon this part, repository name.
Okay. System role. Hello. Sorry, Samrat, it's got disconnected. Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Got disconnected. Now it's reconnected. Yeah, I can hear you. Hello. Samrat. Hello. 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 The hell with this side.
Load.
Hello, Samrat.
Above system. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Some network issue. Got disconnected.
Yeah, yes.
Tell me. Yeah.
No, actually, Ranjan was asking that for which cases we use the load balance connector. Load balance connector, if you have some distributions of load in the above system, using some message server.
Okay.
Using some message server, we used to balance the load of that particular system.
Okay.
In that cases, we can use the load balance connector. Otherwise, mostly if the system doesn't have any load balancing thing, we can use this specific application server.
Okay.
Okay. So I have put all those information and save it. Now go back to UI. Here I just right click on the properties. Here I have the system.
Okay.
Now I can run it. Now before running it, what it will exactly do? What system will exactly do? Okay, let's run and then we will see. Okay, let's run it. Let's see whether it will be running or it will throw an error.
How much time it takes generally?
It depends on the system load. It depends on the system load that how much time it will take. Since it is already started running, that means our connections is okay.
Okay.
Okay, our connections is okay. Here this host, gateway server, this client, everything, user password is okay. Otherwise, it should have given the error. Now, checking the error. What is the error?
Got error?
Yes, it comes an error.
Okay.
Okay, now where it throws an error, that we have to check. Now here the create account attribute is passing. The entries added is 1. Account attribute is created.
Okay.
So that means if you go to the thing 1, the first is account attribute creation.
Okay, that is successful.
That is successful. The second part is add privileges reference attribute to company address, that is successful. Third part is modify validity that is not needed. That is why it is not required. Modify validity of any existing role. An existing user, if I have some modify validity, that will be that is not required. So you can see there is zero information.
Okay.
Modify from valid, modify to validity, modify from validity. I hope that will be a 0. Now create system privileges, that is 1. Correct? I told about the system privileges.
Yeah.
Okay. Now if it is 1 means it is successfully created. Now if you go back to the system here and click on priv : star : only, you will see that this system privileges is created.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is created. Now create above user, create above account privileges. Create account privileges is created in the database. If you go to the account privileges creation, create account privileges, above account privileges. Now just check this one. This one, the account privileges. Okay, the system privileges. Go to here. This is the system privileges, repository system privileges. That is the system privilege which can. This is the account privileges. Sorry, this is the account privileges, account related information. That another privileges I told this one, right? System privileges.
Yeah.
Which will be created into the IDM system. Although for any user you cannot see these things. If you see system : star, you cannot be seen this one. Priv : system : repository name. Okay, display name this one. MS key value repository system privileges. Display name priv _ let's check, let's find it. Display name that is why I told you cannot see this from here, but you can check those things in the database. I will check that. Okay, we will see that. So what are the things are done so far? This one is created, create account attribute. Where you will find that account attribute is created? Go to the attribute section and you will see here, this is the account RVC 100. This is one attribute is created.
Okay.
Okay, this attribute is getting created automatically over here. How these things are created? Through this job. It is created. And what is the purpose of this thing, this attribute? This attribute, if the attribute is updated with the user ID, we can check that user ID is present in that particular system.
Okay.
Okay, we will understand that attribute, that ID is present in that particular system.
Okay.
Okay, that is the purpose of this account attribute and updating. Whenever I will assign this only role, this priv only role, this account attribute will be updated for that particular user.
Okay.
Okay, so we will see that. Now create account privileges as well, create system privileges as well is done. Okay, now it is done. Now throw some error over here. Read above roles.
Okay.
Above roles. What is the error you can get whenever it is writing? Because these are the thing which is not required. The initial thing is not required the above system.
Okay.
RVC I have given the name. Okay, and the corresponding things I have given. Now whenever try to read the above system, which needs the above system details.
Okay.
Okay, That is why whenever is trying to read the above user, that means it is trying to read the above system, it is throwing an error, and that error is a connection error.
Okay.
Okay, here is the connection. Sorry, here is the connection error. AS host, gateway server, TCP/IP, localhost, Unicode error, hostname ECC EHP6 is unknown. Hostname
Yeah,
is
you
showing.
give the IP address then.
Then let's try with the IP address 192.168.
Well, you can see that, right click on that RVC and you will get the IP address. 1.35, I think. Not this one. On the connection, yeah.
Yeah, okay. 1.35. So go back. 1.35. Let's
work, I believe.
Okay, let's save it and then try to run it. So why I just I have not keep it like this, that I should have means I can keep in the weekend and set up everything. I want to show you if you get some errors, where you will get and how you will analyze those things.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, I can sit with you and weekend I can fix those things. And during the training sessions, I can just tell you, okay, these are the things are there. I have updated and load it.
Okay.
Okay. Ranjan, this is fine, right?
Yeah.
So I have run it. Close this information. Let's see.
$23 we got error, right, previously.
Yeah, so 23 second. It might not need 23 second. Again error. So let's see where this error come. Same point the error is coming. Host name, why it is showing this host name? I change it, right?
Gateway host also you give that number.
Yep, let's try. Okay, so during the connection, since all these are already done, what I can do, I can disable those passes.
Okay.
Okay, so that it will directly run it from here.
Okay.
Okay, so I am disabling the passes. And one more thing I can do, I can enable these passes. What this pass will actually do, here the written is enable these passes to interrupt the executions of the job at this point. That means it will only, these are the all you can see, these are the only read activity.
Okay.
It will not do the write activity. It will not do the rest of the activity.
Okay.
It will interrupt here, so that we can make sure, if you want to read those informations in the real business scenario, you can read those information first, and whenever it will read what you remember that whenever it will read the data from somewhere, it will store into the temporary table in the database, right?
Yeah.
So from those temporary tables, we can check from those temporary tables what are the data are stored.
Okay.
What data are stored? We can check that. Correct.
Yeah.
So if our expected data is correct, then we can write. Otherwise, what will happen if you just write it? What will happen if if something is wrong, the wrong information will be updated.
Okay.
So that is why we can interrupt this thing, so that whenever the data will read, we can check it from the database. If everything is correct, then we can disable this path and again run this job.
Okay.
Okay, so let's run it now again.
Again got error.
Within a minute, it got an error. Within a minute. Why? Because it is not running this initial step. It's directly starting from the read above rule.
Yeah.
Okay. So this error is something directly see the other logs are not there. It's the first thing it comes in the read above. Again, this is the error name. Partner not reaching the localhost Unicode partner. This not reached. Time.
You need any port number for this?
Usually it should coming with the host and port.
That is the IP address.
Yeah.
What is this as ABAP host name and client M host again? Client MS host below.
This is a message server. If you have some load balancing, this is message server host.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that is not required.
Check the port number.
Usually. RVC failed connection to the gateway failed connectors parameter. Host name is this. System number is this. Gateway is this. Gateway server. System number. System. The local host with Unicode error partner. This not reached.
Can we check the in the system status? I mean, not here in the system. Go to system tab at the top.
Okay.
Status. Host is ECC EHP6. Just give that. If you go check the below.
Yeah, this one, right?
Yes, just give that one.
Port is
Just
0 only.
Port is 0 only actually. So just check this one.
That will give only the installation packages.
Yeah. Let's try with this one. This is the host. Only this will take.
Yes, it should take. So that's the logical name, right? Which is
Yeah, that's the logical name actually. Okay, let's try with this one again.
The other one we have to keep the same.
Gateway also we should put the same, I believe.
Yeah, we can check.
Yeah. Let's try. Immediately throws error. This is unknown. That means this will not the correct one. The correct one is that one. I think 192, 168, 135. That was correct, but it was not able to reach it.
One second.
Yeah.
Let me check. Security host SMGW.
Try 01. Let's do one thing. Let's remove the gateway server.
Gateway host name is same. Is it asking any gateway service?
That is why let me remove the gateway server and then try. Sometimes it happens that if server is
Gateway
not,
host name is same, ECC ehp6.ides.
yeah,
Okay, you're removing the gateway host.
gateway server I removed.
Okay, okay.
So let's try with this one. Sometimes if the server is not maintained, it will not work. See, the server was not maintained, I believe.
Now it's
Usually in the real-time scenario, the server used to maintain.
gateway server.
Gateway server, gateway service, that gateway host. There is a gateway service.
Gateway service name is different. I found the gateway service name. It is a SAP GW00.
Ah, yes. Actually, this one.
SAP
SAP
GW00.
Yeah, gateway 00. Actually, this one. Yeah,
If you want, you can execute this transaction SMGW.
Yes, correct. I actually forgot.
Go to
remote gateways.
Parameters. Yeah. This is you got TP name.
TP name, that is. Yep. So anyway, now you can see. Now go back. Now check. Read the data. That means entries added 3115. Okay. Profile is readed. Company address is readed. User is read. If you dual stack, because there is no dual stack, so it's skipped. Remove loop of the any you refers to the user assignment, it is not, so it's skipped. Verify company address, verify attribute address salutations. Any salutations we remember we have created during our understanding of salutations. So that is address salutation. That is something else. So this is some values, whatever is read, you can check it from here. So all the data is read.
Okay.
Now enable this pass to interrupt the execution. That means I have enabled this, so that is why it is not write it.
Okay.
Now our first thing what I have done, I read the roles, right? 3115 roles. Whether my roles are correct, how do I check? I can check it from the database. From which table? Check, open the job, go to the destination. The table name is SAP repository name role. This is the table name. Okay. So I have to connect into the system. Password I used to forget.
System. Username is system. Username is system. Password is SAP admin 1234. S is caps.
I have to write it down here every time. Just give me 1 second. Huh? Let me connect. Okay. So where I will get, first of all, I need to understand that where I will get this table. In which schema I will get this table. Definitely I will get this table from RT schema. Not the oper schema, not the operational schema, because this is the temporary information, right? mxmc underscore rt dot sap rvc 100 role. That was the table name, right?
Yeah.
sap rvc 100 role. So let's check this information. Table view
Actually,
doesn't.
not MXMC, ORIDM.
ORIDM
Hmm.
underscore admin underscore RT. So I am using ORIDM underscore RT. Now you will get the table. So this will be the ORIDM. Okay. Because the standard name is MXMC underscore RT.
Yeah, this guy doesn't know the standard name, right?
Yeah. So we have created with the OR. See, what are the data? 3115. Right? And here the information is 311.
Fine.
If you go to the log, you will see 3115. You can check in the backend system as well how many roles are there. If you just see 16 AGR underscore define, how many roles are there? 3115. So all roles are read, correct?
Yeah.
So we are main concerned about the role, or we are main concerned about the users. So all roles are read, all users are read. So definitely if we go to the user AGR underscore
User or USR 02.
user 02 readable. So number of users is 59. So if you go to here, number read roles, read profiles, read users is 59. And if you go to the table read users, right? So instead of roles, if you type user, How many? 59. So this is how we can analyze. Okay, how many roles are there in the system? How many IDM is read? How many roles are there in the users are there in the backend system? How many user is read in the IDM system?
Okay.
Correct. How many profiles are there in the backend systems? How many it has been read into the IDM system? So all those information we can read it. If I find okay everything is correct, now I can disable this pass and enable this entire thing so that it will be right into the IDM system.
Okay.
Okay, it will be writing into the IDM system. So I can again run this job.
Again, it will read the roles, right?
Again, it will read the role. So you can disable that one as well. Read roles and write those passes. That thing you can do, or you can just read it. So let it run. Can you give me 5 minutes, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gyan Ranjan, you work for which company?
I'm Slumberjee,
No, Pune only.
Pune.
Okay, okay. I'm also in Pune.
Oh, you're in Pune?
Yeah.
Okay. With Infosys?
No, no. I'm working for Air Products.
AE products.
Air Products, yeah. It is in Magarpatta city.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, recently just they started IT.
Okay.
I'm almost the first employee.
Wow.
Yeah, they have teams in UK and China and US.
Mm-hmm.
They're just setting up the IT center in India.
Okay, okay.
Manufacturing company, chemicals,
Okay, chemicals part.
industrial gases main.
Industry gases, okay, because our company is also oil and gas service.
Yeah, hydrogen, nitrogen. They'll build the plants for the refineries like Saudi Aramco, Bharat
Mm-hmm.
Petroleum, and all.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So you're into completely security domain or into SAP only? I mean, SAP security.
SAP security auditing,
Okay,
GRC. Here we are not using GRC. Here we are using Infor Approva one,
okay, approve one.
and GRC we are using process controls.
Okay. So the provisioning is again through IDM for you.
No, provisioning is through Infor Approva one.
Okay, approve one only.
We are planning to implement access controls.
Okay.
We have one more open position. What is your experience?
Uh, it's going to be 8 years, and I believe we are from the same base. 2011 pass out, right?
What?
2011 pass out.
Okay, like me. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, if you want, you can give a try. Uh,
Uh,
we have open position. Only one open position.
I'll just for timing just taking to my company. A lot of
Hmm?
go labs going on. So
Oh,
lot of responsibilities they've given.
oh, okay.
This is not right time for me. But definitely in future, let me
There is
see.
one guy from LinkedIn in my. There one guy from Schlumberger in my LinkedIn. Gaurav Srivastava.
Yeah, yeah, go up. We are in the same team.
Okay. What he will do? He'll post a lot in LinkedIn.
Yeah, he is nowadays he is posting a lot, right?
What?
He is posting a lot of articles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I saw yesterday only.
He's expert or what? He put IDM also.
Mm, I'll say, I mean, no one is expert, man. That's what
No,
my belief.
no.
Okay, there is always
Who-
a chance to learn something new.
Yeah, that is true. I see there is big team, right, in Schlumberger, SAP security.
Yes, I mean, if you see internal team, we are only 12, but
Vendors, Edge Technologies.
we have multiple vendors. Vendors are very large number.
Air Products entire SAP security team, we are 4 guys. That's it.
Okay,
Entire 60. We are supporting 16,000 employees. That's it.
okay. For us, it's a very big go live. And we have 85 countries with a presence with going on.
Or
So we just
60.
started with building the SAP IT applications. So it's
Or
a
say
complete.
60 countries. Our
Okay,
business.
okay. And mostly into Europe, right? For you guys,
Industrial gases.
industrial gases.
Yeah, they will do the plants. They will build the plants. Again, they will do the joint ventures.
Okay.
They did one big joint venture like with Saudi Aramco.
Mm-hmm. Saudi Aramco is a very big claim.
Yeah, yeah. Revenue is also good, like 9 billion, more than 9 billion.
Okay. It's quite good.
Yeah, we are planning to ramp up the team in India. That's why we are hiring one more.
Okay. Here also a lot of things going on. We have just started, right? And when I joined in 2016, I was the sixth guy in the team. So
Mm.
we also started in 2015 and this IT center
Oh,
in India.
you are also in my LinkedIn, Gyan Ranjan Das.
Oh, am I?
You previously worked on Colgate Palmolive,
Yes.
Infosys, Accenture, Colgate, Schlumberger.
So now you're planning to switch the track or
No, actually, I applied for that German job seeker. I have interview Thursday.
okay. So you have to travel, right?
Yeah, I'm to try in Germany. That's why
Yeah, that's a very good opportunity.
yeah, that's why I'm learning IDM for that. There
Okay.
are so many opportunities. You need to know like GRC and IDM both
Yeah.
integration.
Yes.
Then only you will get, because in Germany, I don't know. It's not so good product SAP IDM for other application, but still they are using SAP IDM.
And they're sticking to their own product.
Yeah, almost every company in Europe using SAP IDM.
Okay. But Germany is sorry. Germany is definitely a good country for the SAP consultants.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
what.
And all the best. Hopefully we get through.
The problem in Mumbai, it's taking like 2 months to process the visa. In Bangalore and Chennai, it's like 2 days, 2 days to 1 week.
Okay.
A lot of background check and all.
So you are going through A2.
Hmm?
You are going through A2 language.
Yeah, I completed training A1 and A2.
Okay.
Yeah, but you don't learn much if you are here, because
Yes.
our slang is different, their slang is different. You cannot understand.
It's one of the toughest language in the world. So
Not
definitely it will take
toughest.
some time.
It's not toughest, but yeah, but you have to practice. I don't know Hindi at all previously, but now after coming to Pune, if you are with the people who speak Hindi, you will learn automatically.
And that's true.
It's the same way. But English is a part and parcel of our curriculum, education and all. Then English is we are familiar.
Okay. So you are from
Andhra
Andhra Pradesh?
Pradesh.
Okay.
I'm from Andhra Pradesh. That's why my mother tongue is Telugu.
Right. Right.
No one speaks Hindi.
Okay.
In South Indian states, this is the situation. No one speaks. In Karnataka also, only in Bangalore you will see the people speak Hindi. But if you go to normal Karnataka, nobody speaks.
That's correct.
You are from Odisha.
I'm from Odisha.
Many of
I
my
am back.
Wipro batchmates like from Odisha.
Okay.
They are from Silicon Institute of Technology and Geeta.
Okay. Bhubaneswar.
Geeta Bhubaneswar. Some from West Bengal, like Haldia and
I think Samrat is back.
Yeah.
some.
So it is running, you can see, because lot of activity it will be doing. It will be writing those above roles privilege, then writing the users, then doing the, if it is any dual stack, that will be doing it. Then add trigger to the above role privileges, add trigger to the profile privileges, and so all those activity will be doing. So that the reason it will take some time. Normally this is the test server, much data is not there, so probably within 15-20 minutes it should complete. But in the real ECC system, it used to take 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, it's not IDES also. It's a plain ECC.
Yeah. So that is means in the real business scenario, there are a lot of users, lot of roles are there. It used to take 4 to 5 hours.
Okay.
So now if you try to check brief colon,
So Samrat, when it fetches the data from SAP system,
yeah,
does it hit any specific table or from where it's taking the data? Like for user we checked USR02, right? But
yes,
is it IDM taking the data from US02 or is there any specific table?
no, IDEM used to take the data from US02,
Okay.
okay, but that configurations is done internally in the sense, if you go to the system, let's say read user, read above user, if you go to the system, source is this system only.
Yeah, it's only the connection part.
Only the connections part it will update. Destinations, if you check, from the source entire things are getting taken. So destinations it will check, that is the logon ID. Logon ID is nothing but our user ID. And where the user ID is getting stored, the user ID getting stored in USR02 table.
Okay.
Okay, so from there only it will take the value. If you go to user to role assignment, let me see if it is there or not. User to role assignment, where is it? No, not here. It is the just user ID. Role. Check. here you can see user to role assignment, and the table, from the table it will take.
Okay, maybe it's taking from AGR users.
Yes, here it is not maintained, but from table it will take. That is the our data type. Data type is the table. So it is internally, the system will internally set up in such a way that from the corresponding table, so user to role is usually present in AGR underscore users table.
Yes, yeah.
Right. So from that table, it will automatically pick up the data.
Okay. So I mean, it's IDM logic, right?
It's the internal IDM logic. It is present over there.
Okay.
Let's say it will take some time. So whatever I am checking, I was used to check that. See, some roles are coming.
Okay.
Okay, already some of the roles are coming, which roles are present in the backend system. Now you will notice the backend system role is this SAP BRP underscore WOM. If you go to the backend system, AGR underscore define, copy this one. Okay, this is the role name, correct?
Oh.
But when it comes into IDM system, the role name is linked with some prefix.
Okay.
All the privileges which is coming from the backend system, this prefix will be adding.
System prefix.
Okay, pref colon role colon then repository name colon this one is adding, and the display name is writing like this: the role name, then hyphen, then the role, and in bracket there is the repository name.
Okay.
Correct? Now how these things are happening? How these things are happening? Okay, just give me one more. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. Now go back to our, if you go to our passes, here you can see the right above role privileges. Okay, just click on those. This is first, it is read from where? Read from this table, right?
Yeah.
And go to the right section. What you will check? You will see the MS key value, right? MS key value, definitely this will be the MS key value. The MS key value is priv colon role colon then repository name colon unique name. Unique name is nothing but the privileges name. If you go to here, if you go to the destination, this is the unique name. Is nothing but the PFCG role name. And it is writing the unique name. That is why the MS key value, that means the role ID, is priv colon role colon the repository name.
Okay.
If you go to the display name, what you will see? This is the display name. Display name, what you will see, this is passing through a script where definitely the inside this script, if you check the script, what is the script? Sorry, let me close this one. What is the script? SAP code generate display name. SAP core generate display name. If you open that script, you will see definitely finally the output is showing as a return the system, return name plus the system. User name, that is the name of the user which is coming from the, if it is a role, the name is the role name plus hyphen role in bracket the system ID.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Here you can see it. It is role. If it is a role, type is role, then the role name hyphen role, then in bracket the system ID.
Okay.
This is how the display name is getting created. This display name is getting created. Now, if you check the property of a particular role, modify privileges, display form, display privilege. I don't think it will, you can see the display privileges. See it. It's better to check the modify privileges, then you will see the lot of information. If I go to the modify privileges, here you can see the unique ID, the display name, the repository name.
Okay.
Okay, how this repository name is added? Again, go back to this right path. Here, this is the repository name is added. Okay. The privilege type is role. Here, the privilege type is showing as a role. 1 second.
What time again your office time is?
I generally go around 12.
No, US shift. Sorry,
Not exactly.
Overlap. Okay.
Yeah, just we are overlapping because you are for guys staying in Houston.
Central time.
Central.
Slumber headquarters is in Texas, right?
Yes, Houston.
Now, one more thing I told during the property of the privileges or types of privileges, I told you there is this privileges is present into the system, right?
Yeah.
This privileges is created. And at the same time, I told that every backend system roles are linked with these system privileges.
Okay.
So that whenever I will assign this backend system roles to the user, by help of these system privileges, first it will create the user and then the roles will be assigned. Correct?
Yeah.
So here you can see the master privilege. This is the master privilege which is added, which is automatically updated.
Okay.
Okay, how this is updated? Here you can see MS REQ privilege is adding the corresponding master privilege or the account privilege.
Okay.
Whenever
What is that A in the
A means
Flower
append.
brush.
A means append. It's the operator.
Okay. Okay.
Append operator. We will come through the various operator during the our configuration thing. You will see the operators is there. So A is append operator.
Okay.
We are adding this value over here.
Okay.
If you don't add this value, what will happen? If the user is only existing into the system, then only the this role can be assigned. Otherwise, it cannot be assigned if the user doesn't exist into the system.
Okay.
Okay. This is the master privileges. First, these privileges will check whether the roles are present or not.
Okay.
One of the important factor is this area, this basically assignment area. Usually by default these are inherited. If you go back to here, mx modified task equals to minus all the -1, that means it is inherited.
Okay.
Okay. All those add member task, delete member task, mx provision task, deprovision task, all are showing as a inherited. But there is a purpose of using this one. Then you will say, oh, if everything is inherited, then what is the purpose? Purpose, definitely it is there. So I will tell you later the purpose of this thing.
Okay.
Okay. Normally, if you have, just telling you, normally if you have some approval workflow, or if you have the GRC configuration, that time this member event task is required.
Okay.
Okay. Member event task is required. Now, this privilege, again privilege task, provisioning task, deprovisioning task, modify task. Here you can see provisioning task, deprovisioning task, modify task. This is again inherited. Coming back to the master privilege, I told you about the master privileges. Approvers, if you set any approver, that can be set. But normally in this initial load job, we don't set this approver over here, because in backend system, no approvers are used to be present. Approvers we are set up within IDM, right?
Okay.
So
For approvers also we can create master load job.
Yes, for approver also we can create master load job.
Okay.
For user to approver, for user to owner as well. Here, if you go back to the user ID, the entry owners you can see. So for the entry owner, you can create a master load job in update to. And if you go to the general attribute, this is the entry owner. You can update the entry owner as well using master load job. Now,
Okay.
what is the difference between owners and approver? Owner who is owning the role, who owns the role. Approver who is approving the role. That means whenever the roles are getting created, whenever the roles are getting assigned, whenever the roles are assigned, means suppose inside the system, any kind of change in this role, in this privilege, let's say the general display name is getting changed, member event is getting changed, or something is getting changed within the property of the role, this need to be updated the owner, not the approver. Approver is something who will be approving the business scenario. That means if the roles is assigned to someone else, then only approver will get notified.
Okay.
Okay. And suppose the role, it happens that during the business, it's time to time some new roles are created and some old roles are not required, right? So it obsolete. Normally in the retail industry or some oil industry, those things, if the obsoleted role, they deleted it from the IDM system.
Okay.
But for the pharmaceutical company, where their compliance and audit is very important part, the retail company or the oil company, their audit is not so much important as the pharma company. So in the audit company, they don't delete any roles. Although the roles are obsoleted, but they don't delete any roles. What they usually do. But this roles is obsoleted, but if it is visible within the in the IDM system, someone may assign that role to the user.
Okay.
Correct. So that is the reason here you can add an entry owner and entry visibility. If you give the entry visibility owners only, then this role will be only assigned, only visible to the owner only. No other people can see the role in IDM system.
Okay.
Okay, so if anybody can't see the role in IDM system, they definitely can't assign the role. Okay, so during the audit purpose, if the roles was assigned or what was there, so if they need those things for the audit purpose, that definitely can be seen, but from now onwards, whenever the roles are getting obsoleted, it cannot be assigned anymore. That is the purpose, two purpose of assigning owner of any role. One of the important thing is assigned user. Definitely, if this roles is assigned to any user, that can be seen over here. The hierarchy, that means this privileges is assigned to any roles or not, that can be done over here. Okay. These are the main important, one of the important tabs or purpose of this roles. Privileges, not roles.
Here we are defining the approvers for the privileges. Also, we are defining the approvers for the roles, right?
Yes.
So in those cases, which will decide?
Which will decide that? Again, come to the when we will discuss about the approval workflow, then this part will be clear to you. In approval workflow, we can decide whether if I assign the roles, it will all the privileges will be already assigned, or you want that privileges also need to be approved.
Okay.
That we can configure in the approval workflow, in the approval task.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the reason I have not discussed about the approval task. If you can remember, during the process there is an approval task, right?
Yes.
So I have not discussed, because until and unless you understand these approvers of roles or approver of privileges or owners of roles or owners of privileges,
the member events, right?
Yeah. So those things will be very, then again I have to recap. So that is why I kept those things aside.
Okay.
So it's now time to, in tomorrow's sessions, we can discuss that approval workflow thing.
Okay. Tomorrow subject will be approval workflow.
Approval workflow. So this is the privileges, and if you check the roles.
Okay.
Sorry.
Samrat, now we are connected with the ECC system. Now we can create the users in ECC.
Now we can create the users in ECC system.
Okay.
Okay. If you go to modify role details. So here also you will say almost the same, the role's name, but the basic difference is repository name. Roles, it doesn't depend on the repository, correct? Roles are IDM is a box.
Correct, yeah.
And the differences, see, member event tasks are same. All the member event tasks of roles and privileges are same. Approvers also same. Approvals level also same. Task Also same task, it is actually the task is not there, because why the task is not there? Any idea?
Probably privileges are part of roles, right? So
Because the roles, we are not directly assigned the role. The original thing, what will be assigned in the backend, that is the privilege, right?
Yeah.
Role is just a blank box. It is not getting provision to the backend system. Within the roles, whatever be the things are there, that will be provision. Not the roles will be provision. That is why no task is there. Task is basically provision, deprovision. I am assigning something in the backend and I am removing something from the backend.
It will be inherited from the container.
It will be inherited from the container, but container is not getting assigned in the backend. That is why no task is present.
Okay.
Visibility is present, definitely visibility is there. Assignment is there. Assignment, here assignment is not there. Here assign to is there. Assign to means to the user. But here assignment is there, also assign to is there. That means assign to is the role is assigned to any user. Assignment is the roles, the privileges are assigned to that role. What are the privileges are there which can assign to this role?
okay.
Okay. Restrictions is there where it is not give the restrictions over here. Restrictions means allows entry reverse or allow entry exclusive roles, exclude roles. Means roles can be here in the hierarchy sections is there. Here the hierarchy part, that means only privileges can be added to the role. That is why in the hierarchy you get only the role. Means roles in the top of the privileges, right? Means within the container we are assigning the privileges. Here you can make a hierarchy. So what are the things why this hierarchy? Here you can see the parent role and the child role. So why is this hierarchy I am maintaining? Let's discuss about this hierarchy part. Suppose in your team some member is there who is your team member, and one or two member is the team lead, and another one is your manager, right? So the role is team member, the role is team lead, the role is team manager. Role is team manager. Okay, I created this three container. So in team member, we have some three privileges. So let's say some three privileges which is assigned to the team member. Now in team lead container, I assign two extra privileges, two specific privileges which is specifically for the team lead. And in this container, I assigned one specific privilege. But this manager definitely should have the team lead role because he can do the team lead activity, right?
Yeah.
He should have the broader access compared to the team lead. Whatever the team lead should have, definitely the manager should have this role.
Okay.
And whatever the team member should have, definitely team lead have that activity. Agree?
Yeah.
Now here in this scenario, let's say this role is team lead role.
Okay.
Let's say this role is team lead role, this role. So what we can do in the parent role scenario, in the parent role, I can add the team member role as a parent role.
Okay.
and I can add team member, it's just reverse, team manager as a parent.
For
And
this
in
role.
the child role section, I can add the team member role, so that whenever I will assign this role to any user, automatically this particular team member role, as this is the child role of this team lead role, the team member role will be automatically assigned, but not the parent role. It's similar like of a composite and single role concept. Like if I assign the composite role, single role will automatically come. But if I assign only single role, composite role will not come. Correct?
Okay.
So similarly, since this team lead role will be the child of team manager, so whenever I will assign this team manager role to the user, automatically this lead role will come. If the team lead role will come, automatically this team member role will come. If I maintain this hierarchy over here like this. If you have any confusion, tomorrow we can do an exercise. We will create 3 containers. We can create 3 containers and we can assign those roles to the different users, and we will see that how it behaves.
Okay. And based on this only this hierarchy works, right? Which
Yes.
we have defined.
Yes. So based on this, you will see I only add this team manager role to the user. You will see it will get 1 plus 2, 3 plus 3. All 6 roles will be assigned to this user.
Okay.
If I assign team lead role to the any user, you will see 5 roles will be assigned. But if I assign only team member role to the user, you will see only 3 privileges will be assigned. So if we will get any confusion over here, we will do an exercise tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, tomorrow approval.
Approval workflow as well as some this exercise things will be there. Today we don't get time to see the approval because this job is running. Job is still running, so it will take some time. Oh, it's run, but again it's throw some error. What is the error? Let's see the error. Right above users. Right above users might be it doesn't write any users.
Message list truncated.
Message list is truncated, but here you can see total entry 59 and total error is 59.
Okay.
Okay, so there must be some error.
Cannot insert null.
Cannot insert null. So we will analyze those things, that why it is not written. The backend systems user, it is not written. Okay, this is another area. Right above user, right company address. Okay, this is fine. Maybe no company address is present, or 2 company address which is not required. And any error, any system. So above we will be checking tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
And we will be doing that approval workflow as well as this hierarchies thing.
Okay. Okay. I'm stopping the recording. Fine.
Yeah.